Hiya folks, JD here, and today we've got this. This is the FTX Mighty Thunder. Look at the size of this. This is a 1/10 scale 4-wheel drive, ready to run all-trail monster truck. When it says it's ready to run, there are a few slight things that we have to do. So let's pull this off, first of all, and have a little look inside. Right, so, there she is. Accessory bag, some decals there as well. Great big wheels that we have to affix. Now what I've already done, just to make sure all the parts are here as well, is I have snipped off these ties. There are 4 ties on here, as you can see here, and these ties hold in the axle. I've just gone through and snipped them, just to make this unboxing a little bit smoother. So that's the transmitter. There's the truck. Right there. Let me just get rid of this cardboard. And let's get rid of everything that we don't need for now, just so that we are left with the only things that we do need, which for now is just the truck. So here we have it. No wheels for the minute, but 1/10 scale monster truck. Right then, let's take off these push pins, and then on the inside here, there we go. Let's have a little look at this. Beautiful, really nice body, really nicely coloured, sky blue to the front, working its way back, getting darker on the top and staying sky blue on the bottom here, kind of mixing when it gets to the back here. Most of the decals are already on by the look of it. You've got some sponsorships on the back here. You've got the Mighty Thunder, FTX there, a couple of other oil and car component manufacturers. Looks really nice. The bumper on the front here is probably going to be as effective as cheese by the look of it. It's very thin plastic, same as the one on the back. Although it does look the part. Practically, from a practical point of view, I don't think it's going to be very good. Okay, so here's our truck. It comes with a very standard battery. This is the 1800 standard FTX battery that you get. And it's all right. It'll get you up and running. It's not, it's not terribly powerful, but it does the job. That is the very standard battery you get with most all FTX brand trucks and cars. Now, working back from that, we have the receiver cage here. That's where your receiver is, that your transmitter binds to, just inside here. And at the back from that, we have our ESC here, which is attached to the on and off button, and also which is also attached to the motor at the back. Now, the motor at the back here, you may just be able to see a little cylinder there with a blue top here. That is the motor. It's a 550 60T motor, same motor as in the Canyon. In most cases, this particular chassis is very similar to the FTX Canyon. It just hasn't got the front and the back bits hanging off. It kind of just stops here. Now, we've got oil-filled big bore shocks that you'd expect to have with any higher priced FTX brand cars. We've got exactly the same here. Multi-direction. You can tighten them as well and loosen them should you want to, if you're going over different terrain or if you put different tyres on, etc, etc. Now, on the underside, we saw where the motor is. This is also where the gearing is under here. You've got your pinion and your spur inside here, as well as you've got plastic drive shafts here that spin. Obviously, this is 4-wheel drive, so this is what gives you the power. Then you've got your diffs in the back here as well. One here and one there. Now, putting this back, it feels really light. Just as a chassis, it feels really light. I suppose by the time we put the wheels on and everything else, it's going to bulk up that weight. We also have a servo to the front here. This is your left and right steering. Once again, we have that very standard single pin coming down into a main crossbar there, just for your steering for left and right. That's not very technologically advanced, but it does the job quite nicely. So that is a very, very brief look at the FTX Mighty Thunder in all of its glory. Now, you do have one single plug here as well. Now, that plug is what connects to another part of this kit that we've got to put together in order for us to have some LED lights. That's a nice little touch. Right then, all in all, that's quite nice. You've got a little white button on here as well on the ESC. That will just give you an extra crawler gear there. So you may want to push that. In the manual, it goes into everything, and it talks about that particular button as well. All in all, I think it's quite nice. The plastic is quite strong, although you've got a bit of movement in it, which is exactly what you want, so that it flexes as it moves and doesn't just snap when you hit something. I think this looks like quite a sturdy truck. It certainly feels like quite a sturdy truck. I think we'll have to see how it holds up after a couple of bashes. Right, that is the truck itself. Let's now look at the assembly of the wheels as well as the assembly of the light kit. Right then, I've taken 2 tyres out. We've got another 2 in here as well. I'm going to take those out, making 4 in total. Once you've taken those out, on the side of the bag you've got your hex nuts, as well as you've got a couple of other bits in there as well. Make sure you don't throw this bag away when you take apart when you take the wheels out, the tyres out, because you've got to rip this bag open and get the hex nuts and everything from the inside. So I'm going to just put this here. I've got one pile for the one set of tyres, and I've got another pile here now for the second set. Inside there as well, you've got some washers. Now, in order for us to fit this and fit it properly, we have to unscrew these little nuts here. There's 4 of them, 2 on each side. See, another one there and another one there as well. Now, in order to do that, this is a 4-wheel drive car. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to have a spanner on one end, and you're going to have to use some of the tools that come with this, which is a nice little screwdriver hex tool, as well as you get a couple of Allen keys and screws in there as well. The whole idea being is you put one side on, clamp the other side, twist, and then these come off. Then you can fit the hex nuts to the tyres, and then we'll go through everything from there. So first things first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get all 4 of these nuts off. On each of these little axles, there's a tiny hole, just there. And this little hole is what you have to attach the bar onto, and then once you've affixed the bar, then you affix your hex adapter, and then you can put the washer on. And then once you've done that, this is essentially what it's going to look like. It's going to look like that. So you've got, it's going to look like that. There we go. So you've got your hex adapter on there. You've got your bar running through the main hole. Then you've got your hex adapter. Then you've got your washer. Now it's time to put the wheel on, but when you put the wheel on, you've got to be careful of one thing. Now, there's no directional mark on here at all, so it doesn't tell you which way the wheel goes on, it doesn't tell you which way the wheel spins. What I've done is I've looked at all of the FTX Mighty Thunder promotional pictures, and they're all showing that this V points straight on. So it goes on and the V points in one direction. So it should be that the V points to the front, and then that just goes on like that. Quite nice. And then you just do up the screw inside there. Do up the bolt with this little bolt that you have. I put the washer on in the wrong place, so I'm just moving the washer. So the washer is between the plastic and the bolt. So I'm just going to line this back up. There we go. Not careful not to lose that washer. Spin it round until you find the hex adapter, and then push it in. And then what you get from there is you get that. So you've got your wheel, you've got your tyre on your wheel obviously, then you've got your little your hex adapters pushed on all the way, you've got your washer on the inside there, and now I'm just going to add this little bolt. I'm not going to screw it up all the way, I'm just going to put it on so that the wheel doesn't fall off. And there we have it. We've got all 4 tyres on there, all 4 wheels on there. And that's looking good. Now all I've got to do is I've got to go around and tighten them all up. That is a very, very fiddly thing to do. Got to ensure that everything goes in correctly. And wow, that is very fiddly. But you know what? It transforms the truck. Looks beautiful. Really does look very, very nice indeed. Right then. So, I think that is everything to do with the truck from that point of view. Now, the only thing that we've got left to do now is just to put the battery in and put the top back on it. Ah, yes. So that is the top back on. Quite nice. But let's move this because we've got a bit of assembly left to do with this part as well. Which is, we've now got to attach our lighting rig to the back of this. So we've got a lighting rig there. And what we've got here is we've got a cable that runs right the way through the back there. Very nice. Pull the cable through from the other end, and then you should have 4 holes here. There we go, which just fit on. So that is the effect you're going for. You're just going for that. Very plain, very straightforward. Now we should have a couple of screws in here as well. There they are. Screws and washers. So black screws and black washers on the black table. Fantastic. So let's get a screw and a washer, and let's put all that on. And we've got to do this 4 times, 4 screws, and just try and marry everything up as best we can. So once again, folks, this is going to be boring as hell to watch, so I'm going to fast forward when all of this is magically done. Okay, and there we have it. All in. 4 screws, all in, 4 washers before the screws in as well, and that's what we get. Nice little bar at the back there with our 4 LED lights, and we've got our connector there just to connect them straight up so that we can have a nice little effect then as we're crawling through the night. That looks lovely. Really does look good. Okay, let's look at the whole finished article. Okay, so that's what we've got. Wheels on, and then we're going to put the top on just to see the effect of it. And it should be, oh, look at that. That is an absolute monster. Got our big foam-filled rubber tyres. Got our huge lid on there as well. Whereas our bar on the back with our 4 lights there also. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. Right, so I think the next thing we've got to do is look at what else comes in with this. Because we've got a transmitter we haven't looked at. And we've also got a load of booklets that we haven't looked at either. So let's move this to one side for now. And then let's look at what comes in this box. Because this box, yes, you've guessed it, the transmitter. And it's an old favourite of FTX's. And honestly, it's a good enough transmitter. I mean, this is it. Very standard car gun-esque transmitter. Nice rubber. It's got a nice rubber band going right the way around it for extra grip on the corners, and it does pretty well, to be fair. You've got a nice sort of throttle action there as well. Not too loose, not too tight, and it's got a nice varying degrees of movement as well, so that you can accelerate and reverse quite nicely without having to engage the engine, the motor fully. Extendable antenna, very standard. In the back, when you flip open the lid, you have your steering trims, reverse action for steering and for throttle response, as well as you have your steering and your throttle trims there as well, on and off button and your LEDs. Very, very standard, does the job, takes 8 AA batteries. That's the only thing which I find a bit insane, but still I haven't had any batteries die in this, and I haven't had a transmitter die when I've been out. Now, this transmitter does allow USB charging if you've got rechargeable batteries in there. Just make sure if you are not going to recharge them, you use shop-bought or fully charged batteries inside that transmitter. But that's it. Very standard. As soon as you get anything which is FTX, 9 out of 10 times you'll get this electronix transmitter, and it's good enough. I mean, you can replace the receiver in here and use your own transmitter with it if you prefer. So that's that, and then of course you get your booklets, which take you through every single bit of the car. And then of course you get your booklets and you get your accessories. So you get your bind pin, you get a foreign plug, you also get the British plug charger there for your battery. You also get new charging process, so this just takes you through exactly what you need to know. This is important information, give that a read. You also get your very, very FTX-esque manual, which takes you through every single part of the truck, as well as how to put the wheels on, charging the battery, how to use the electronix transmitter, how to use your own receiver and bind to another transmitter. It takes you through quite a lot of information, and it's in multiple languages as well. You also get some other FTX decals, as well as obviously your bind pin that we went into a little while ago. So all in all, you get a hell of a lot with this truck. You get the truck itself. which I think is an absolute monster, as well as all these accessories and the transmitter. It is an absolute winner, I think, especially for the money. This is an older truck, therefore the price is coming down quite a lot. I picked this up for £109 brand new. Not too bad at all for a very large 110 scale crawler. Alright then, my friends, thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy racing.